And of course, it's not just homes and residential spaces. Office spaces have also been impacted. Now, Bengaluru, again, the home of so many multinationals, so many big IT companies, was always a boom city when it came to the need for office spaces. Has that been affected? Now, we spoke to Mike Holland, the CEO of Embassy Office Parks REIT. He's joining us to actually share his views on what the impact of COVID-19 has been. Now, to start with, what impact really has the pandemic had on the office rental space, commercial spaces in Bengaluru?
Well, we own and operate an office portfolio of over 26 million square feet of business parks and offices across India's Embassy REIT. So our perspective is not just about Bangalore, it's across the country, and our portfolio's consistently occupied to over 90%. We've got about 160 tenants, half of them in the technology space, 3/4 are international companies. And the rental agreements with those tenants have a lock-in and duration of typically 5 to 7 years. And that generates our rental income, which allowed us to pay out 1882 crores, that's 250 million US in distributions last financial year. And even in this pandemic period, we've signed a number of new leases. We'll report on those in our quarterly earnings. And we've also seen increased rentals for about 1.8 million square feet of our existing portfolio, over 20 leases, by an average of approximately 14% over Q1.
Are you seeing any pressure when it comes to rentals themselves, any negotiation over the rentals themselves?
Well, on the contrary, some of the IPCs have reported rental growth of 5 to 6% in Bangalore over the first half of this year. The pandemic hit India in late March, and throughout the April, May, June Q1 period, we've operated our parks in accordance with the government restrictions, allowing our tenants their business continuity so that they can serve their customers around the world. In June, over 90% of our tenants were operating, along with 13,000 people from the offices in our parks. We kept our contractual side of the agreement, and largely speaking, the tenants clearly appreciated this because they paid us 97% of the rentals due in that period. I believe that's a reflection of the quality of our tenants and the way in which our local teams across the country have stepped up and serve their customers.
And Mr. Holland, how do you see the demand and supply of office rental space going ahead?
We're very optimistic about the midterm once we get past this pandemic stage. Fundamentally, the supply side of new office developments will be down very significantly, perhaps by a third. Vacancies in our markets were already very low. And of course, because of the focus on safety, we're going to see de-densification driving demand. But more fundamentally, India is at the heart of the global technology business. And if there's one sector that is flying through this pandemic, it's tech, whether it's cloud, digital, cybersecurity. The talent in India that's available to support global businesses gives us great confidence that demand for our type of high quality product will recover strongly once the world gets back to work by year end.